I'm actually against both things, because I get equal amount of hate from feminists as I do from misogynist men. So there'll be some videos where women will be like, you're so misogynist, and other videos where men will be like, you just take women's side. So I think I'm quite neutral. What I think with Andrew Tate, the problem is there is men who cannot relate to him in any way, shape or form. They don't have the money, the privilege, the looks or anything like him, but they're adopting his views. And it's like, but you have to qualify to have his views. If you think that you can get a woman to listen to you and cook for you and clean for you, that comes with, I look after you, I pay for you, I give you a nice house, and then women naturally submit. But when you're just any guy thinking that you can be like Andrew Tate, it's ridiculous. So I think the problem is he appeals to every man, when really he should only appeal to the 1% man, that high valued man. But unfortunately, any guy thinks he's Andrew Tate now.
So do you think that with him, it's more like he's kind of is talking sense, but maybe to a certain amount of people?
He's talking sense to a high value man. He's talking sense to a man who is financially very stable, probably attractive, and can and change his woman's life. He's probably the type of guy that can get a girl and be like, what business do you want? I'll start it. What clothes do you want? I'll get it. What house do you want? I'll buy it for you. So that man has a different woman. That woman with another guy will be a completely different woman. She'll be ratchet and loud, but with him, she'll silence. So he's appealing, and his advice should only fall in the ears of men that qualify like that. Your average man should not be able to relate to Andrew Tate.
Yeah. So with Andrew Tate, what do you think about him being banned off social media though? Because do you think that's going to make a difference?
You know what, I saw a clip of him talking to Piers Morgan, so I don't want to say this is like from me. I actually saw it.
I saw that interview. Yeah. I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I need to watch this.
It's a good mix of two toxic men together. It's like, so what I found in that I did agree with, he said there's far more dangerous messages being sent in the form of Lil Nas or Cardi B, and to silence me is a bit, it doesn't make too much sense. So I do think, I can understand why he was banned if it's because of his abuse allegations and stuff, but if it's purely his opinion, there's other opinions that are equally dangerous that we also need to monitor.
A lot of people have said, like, when I've had opinions on Andrew Tate, a lot of people are like, oh, well,
what's your opinion, by the way? Can I ask?
Yes. So, okay, my opinion is, I think what he's saying, I think there is sense to it.
Yeah.
I didn't actually realise what you said was probably true, that there's a certain amount of people that fall into a category that can relate more.
Yeah.
But I do think that there are some things that he was saying, whether it's true or not, whether he meant it with his heart or not, that I think young generation are going to look up to and think that's right.
Yeah.
When I don't think that they can, because they don't know. They don't know what's right and wrong.
And I always feel uncomfortable.
They don't know how their life is going to end up.
Yeah, and he makes a lot of comment about teenage girls, 19-year-old. I feel uncomfortable when a grown man talks about young women.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel uncomfortable. Right or wrong,
straight away,
it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Straight away.
So if you're saying a 19-year-old girl is a better catch because she's been through less men, to me that makes me feel uncomfortable, because you shouldn't be counting the bodies of a 19. She shouldn't exist in your world.
And same with, if there was, a 30-year-old woman talking about a 19-year-old, it would be the same thing.
Same thing. A 19-year-old shouldn't exist to men in their 30s.
Exactly.
And the fact that you've got an opinion on them makes me uncomfortable. That's
what I hated.
That's what I didn't like.
For me being 19, like when I saw that, I was like, no, like I feel so sick.
It feels sickly, right? Yes.
But I do think that him being banned off social media, I don't think that's going to do anything. He's still everywhere. He's still in our faces. Everyone's still talking about him. We're talking about him. And also there are people that I love, such as Cardi B, who have said questioning things.
Yeah, worrying things as well. So I get what his point was with that, and I adopt the same view.
So you speak about really interesting topics on your social media, whole psychology thing, and there are a couple that I want to get into. So cheating is a big topic,
of course,
and we have a psychologist in this room. So I want to know, how do you know if a woman is cheating?
You know what I have to say? I don't know if it's because I live in big cities. I live in London and Dubai. But one thing I would definitely say from my observation, women cheat just as much as men. They're just better at it. And if anything, they do a lot more micro cheating. What I mean by this is, one of the things that women can do that men can't is, on a daily basis, they can plant seeds for cheating without realizing. So if she just posts a beautiful picture, guys can comment and she can say thank you, and that tiny thing is happening on a daily basis. Whereas for men, they can't shoot their shot with that many girls and get a reply every day. So we're living in a time where if you wanted to be a female cheat, it'd be the easiest time to be that way. So I do think the biggest, some of of the big indicators I would say is, firstly, it's her background.
Okay.
Her home life, I think, says a lot about her. You know, when you're given a lot of unconditional love, you don't crave it outside the home as much.
Okay.
So women that come from good homes and backgrounds, they don't crave the same validation. So when a woman is craving a lot of male attention or male attention in general, there's a hole there. People want to label, you know, say the word hoe and this, that, and the other, but there's probably some kind of emotional hole. Okay. So that, I would say, is background. And also, I would also say her culture in terms of how she behaves. Does she post a lot of bad things? Does she try and seek male attention all the time? Does her day-to-day conduct suggest she's inviting male attention? Because if she is, there's only a matter of time before she gives in. And final thing is, if she's starved of validation from her man.
Yeah, that is a big one.
And I would say this is the biggest one.
That is a big one.
I think even the good girl can turn bad if she's starved of attention from her man. If your man is pouring water into your cup on a daily basis, she can't see other men. She becomes blind to other men. But you know, when your man, you look beautiful, he doesn't say you look nice, or you don't make time for each other, he ignores you, no longer gives you attention. She's so starved in that moment that unfortunately all it takes is one man to give one bit of attention. She'll zoom in on the attention, forget all the other red flags in this man, and he'll become attractive to her because it's a feeling she's chasing, not a person.
Not a person.
Yeah.
That is actually a really good point. I see a lot of TikToks actually, and it's like, oh, if my man's not going to give me attention, it's fine, I can go find it in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, that is, number one, so toxic.
So toxic.
And it's like, true, are you chasing a feeling or a person?
It's never a person.
Never a person.
It's never a person. You know, most people are chasing a feeling. Even when men cheat, it's usually, you know, something starved in them as well. It might be ego, they might have lost their job and they need to feel manly again. They might have not had success with the women. Their partner might not be giving them as much attention. They're chasing a feeling, and that feeling can be in any person, but that person gives them a feeling, and when that feeling is gone, they no longer need it. And women particularly, is when their partner, if you want to keep a loyal wife, all you have to do is remind her she's loved. It's really simple and easy. You remind her she's loved, she won't seek it. But if you forget to give her that, she'll become desperate for it, unfortunately. Yeah.
How would you know if a man is cheating then? Is there a difference?
Men are a little bit more sloppy. You know, like they're a bit more, women are so slick. Yeah, they're so slick with it. You can't catch a woman. It's so great. But they're just so slick with it. Yeah. They're a lot more slick with it. With men, they're a little bit more sloppy. It's very easy. It's a phone stuff, and it's unclear explanations. The usual signs. But what I would say, one big indicator for men who they're going to cheat before you even know them, it's male role models in their home. Okay. You know, in their home, if they grew up with a role model of what the men are around them, if they are in a stable home, see mum and dad together, see that kind of life, they learn the tools and skills to maintain a relationship without realizing. Whereas when that bit is missing, or all they've seen is men around them that cheat, they normalize infidelity, and they almost see it as that's what they're supposed to do. So I would say home life is important for men as well. Yeah.
So you have mentioned in a lot of these points that personal life and home life and your upbringing plays a big part in a lot of things. Yeah. But like, would you say that kind of shapes your personality?
Almost. I you know, unfortunately, we can always kind of adapt and change. But what your childhood does is it teaches you core beliefs about yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you've got parents that love you unconditionally and support you, your core belief is the world loves you. The people in the real world love you. Yeah. But if your parents are inconsistent and a bit unloving, your core belief is people are inconsistent and unloving. They're going to abandon you. So when you go into a relationship, you're waiting for the abandonment. You're waiting for them to let you down. Whereas when you have a secure, loving lifestyle, you just assume everyone loves you. You might have friends who just have a bit of dodgy boyfriends, but they trust them blindly. Yeah. And you'll have other friends who've got the best boyfriend in the world, and they're always looking for a problem. Yeah. And it's because they come into relationships with those core beliefs. And if they don't undo them, it can cause damage.
It can cause damage, yeah. So would you say men or women cheat more? Like, who cheats more out of men and women? That's the right question.
I think men.
Or would you say there's someone that even cheats more?
I would think that men desire cheating more, but women can cheat more. Okay. So I think men desire it all the time. They always, they love novelty, they love chase, they love, new experiences. But they ain't got it like that. So a lot of them don't have it that easy. Whereas women desire it less. They don't really want to cheat.
Yeah. For example, I wouldn't want to cheat.
No one wants to cheat. Yeah. Women don't really want it. They want nothing. You know what? I would argue argue, I would go as far as to say, if a woman met a man and he was the first man that she's ever been with and he treats her well, makes her feel like a queen, I don't feel like she would desire another man.
No.
Men would still desire, they've got curiosity, they like variety, whereas for women, they don't have that actual curiosity.